Hello, I am Liberty Dawn. I am on the Coriolis effect with Cory Oliver, and we are going to be talking about unity, liberty, and freedom.
Welcome to the Coriolis effect with Cory Oliver.
Hi guys, I'm Cory Oliver. Thanks for watching the Coriolis effect. Please hit the subscribe button below, and we hope you like this episode.
Okay, is that the shirt you're wearing? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Cory. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm very well. How was your day the last 2 weeks? We haven't seen each other?
I know it's been a really long time, and I'll just sum it up. I have 19 mosquito bites.
19 mosquito bites. Before
you
we
can
get
see
that,
them.
anything new going on in your life?
19 mosquito bites.
And
Oh.
somebody thought I missed your birthday.
Oh my gosh! You're kidding me! Oh my gosh, Irina! Oh my gosh! Aw, that is too much! Yay! Is that a unicorn?
That's a unicorn.
I love that. Thank you. Oh, that is so beautiful. Thank you.
I had the whole day. I remember your birthday, and Irina sent you a text on your birthday. I said, no, don't tell her. We got to make it a surprise because she missed ours. We have to pretend like we missed hers.
You're so sweet. You know,
How do you take the price tag off the balloon?
when you get to a certain age, you stop having them. So when no one calls, I go, no problem. But thank you both so much. This is so wonderful and beautiful. And that's cute. A beautiful cake. It's a unicorn.
Yes.
You know what the unicorn means to me.
But we put the special yay candles because we
You
couldn't.
know what a unicorn means, though, right? Have
No.
you seen the video where the guy, he's like, if you catch a unicorn,
Oh,
keep
that
her?
one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've had people
Crazy
say
Hot
you're
Matrix.
a unicorn.
Crazy Hot Matrix girl.
Yes.
We only put the yay and the extra candle on because we couldn't fit candles on the.
Okay, let me make a wish.
Yay!
Thank you guys. That's so...
Happy birthday!
I love that. Thank you so much.
Very welcome.
That means a lot to me. This is beautiful, and I love it, and especially the unicorn. You have no idea. That's so cool. And look at this big, nice...
Take the clip and clip it up higher, and it'll hold the balloon down.
Clip it too.
Take the clip and clip it up by the base of the balloon.
Oh, is that true?
No,
how did I
lie
know
to you
that?
all the time.
How did-
Yeah, see? You just scared the dog.
That's sorry, Tinky. That's gravity.
Yes. Well, not if you listen to Flat Earth Dave, but yeah.
Well, he's got me all screwed up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Then you just
Thank
put that on
you,
the
you
table.
guys. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So what's
Anyway,
up with your mosquito bites? Your skeeter bites?
I actually think that they're genetically modified and that they are released into society now because I've never responded like this.
You think there's
ever.
a race of killer mosquitoes that the government released to take down the
I don't know.
conservatives?
There's a pool of water outside my front of my house, and it somehow is gathering the mosquitoes, and I don't know. I can't.
I heard it was global warming is making these huge mosquitoes.
Listen, I feel like Bill Murray in Caddyshack trying to catch the mosquito. You should see the contraptions I have at my house. You know how he goes after the gopher?
It's a gopher, yeah.
I know, but mine's the mosquito. And I've got citronella candles. I have lights. I have everything. I mean, it's rogue.
And I don't want to say this because I'll get hammered for it, but it is genetic and hereditary. I very rarely get bit by mosquitoes.
So do I. I never do.
And I think it's the heritage is just for some reason they don't like whatever my scent is or my skin is or whatever or they know to leave me alone because I'll kill every one of them. But they anyway.
I do too, and I never get bit. But look at this. Look at that.
Oh, lovely.
And by the way, I'm allergic to
careful
Band-Aids.
showing ankles on the show.
So that was baking soda on there because I've got them. I've got baking soda on them. I'm like, oh, it's so gross. But anyway, thank you so much. I can't thank you and Irina enough. That's so wonderful. I feel so warm and appreciated.
On this, our 70th episode.
Yes, 70.
How old are you? To match your age.
Okay, whoa. I look good, huh?
Yeah, you're good for 70. Yeah, you look good for 68 too.
Thank you. In other important news. Oh, this is our guest calling. Should I answer and see if she's
Sure,
okay?
why not? And find out where she is. Maybe she's canceling.
Hi, Liberty.
This is Cory on the phone for you people listening
Hello?
to the podcast.
Hi.
All right.
Oh, I sent it to you. Okay, let me send it to you really quickly. I'm pretty sure I'll send it to you in a text message. Okay, see you soon. Bye. You're gonna edit all that out, right?
Oh, no, that's all staying in.
Oh, okay.
Edit what out? Her phone conversation?
Well, anyway, I feel so bad. I don't want to keep going on and on and on. But tell me. Oh, you can't tell me your address because we're on camera.
All right, we'll wrap up in 2 seconds and we'll go.
She's on the freeway. So, no, because I want to talk about what happened to you. I come in and to give you and Irina a hug this morning, and you're like, "Don't get too close." Booger, and I thought you said
I didn't say booger.
I thought you said I have a booger, but you said I broke a rib. That's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes. I said the wrong thing to my wife, and she let me have it. And she gave
Okay,
me a good
please.
solar plex shot to the left side.
That is so not true. I know Irina, and she's the sweetest, kindest person I know.
Well, yeah, get her pissed off.
No
I
thanks.
see a whole different side of her, and that may just because I'm able to piss her off more than anybody she's ever met before.
Well, you guys are married. It's called love. It's passion. I don't see it as being off. It's passioned off.
Yeah.
Right?
I have the broken rib to prove it. No, I was playing my favorite sport, and
Hockey?
some kid decided to
Bob.
lay into me. That's all right. He got his. We were playing in the first period, and I was skating around. We played in no check league. There's incidental contact, but it's no check. And this kid, he's in college. He's like, hot stuff. He thinks he's great. He just came in and leaned into me. And I felt it as soon as it happened. I'm like, but your adrenaline is so high.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, maybe it's just bruised. So I waited. In the third period, it was like something out of the movie Slapshot. He was coming down, and I lit him up. I mean, he was coming down on his side of the bench, coming down the boards, and I hit him shoulder head high, and he flipped into his bench, legs in the air, the whole thing, and they threw me out of the game.
Well,
But
yeah.
I said, dude, you don't, I got to go to work the next day. We're not kids, I can't be sitting there.
This shouldn't be
I'm
a
not
game of
25 years
like-
old. Yeah, if I wanted to go join the A-League, I'd go play full contact, but no. And then as I was getting changed, I said, no, that thing's broken.
I've had a broken rib before. It's very painful,
Yep,
and it takes forever to heal. And I'll
There's
be
nothing you
praying
can do about
for
it.
a supernatural expedited healing because there isn't. They used to wrap them, and they don't anymore because people were getting pneumonia because of wrapping your ribs too tight.
Right.
And so it's
Well, they wrap it if you really have to go do something. And I'm fine during the day. When I'm standing, I don't notice it. It's just when I lie down and sleep I sleep for 3 hours a night, and then I get up, forget it.
you can't cough, you can't
Oh my
sneeze.
God, I sneezed twice. I felt like I was losing
I
my
know.
intestines. Oh
Very
my God.
painful. I'm so sorry.
It's called sneeze and then cry for 20 minutes.
I know. Oh, I'm praying
Anyway,
for
who's
you,
our guest
Boobie.
today?
A dear friend of mine, Liberty Dawn, and she's written a book called The Baby's Name is Angel. She has a website called libertydawnunited.com, and she is doing a spiritual boot camp, and she's just one of the most inclusive people I know, and I love her, and I'm excited to have her on today. So
Good.
I have to give her the address right now.
Okay. All right. We will see you and her in a few minutes.
Okay, feel better.
Thanks.
Hi, guys. We wanted to announce that, like many podcasters, we just started a Patreon account. Visit our page at patreon.com/The Coriolis Effect. We have 5 different levels of membership and offer early access to episodes, behind-the-scenes footage, bonus episodes, shout-outs, and much more, including personal phone calls, questions and answer sessions, and live chats with Bob and me. That's patreon.com/The Coriolis Effect.
This episode is sponsored by Brizo Healthy Fruit Tonic. With Manuka honey and apple cider vinegar, less than 4 grams of sugar, and under 35 calories per can, each of Brizo's 4 flavors not only taste great, they are an excellent source of vitamin C. Brizo boosts your immune system and is great for your post-workout recovery. Brizo, available on Amazon and at brizo.com.
All right. Let's start the show.
Yes, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, today is special. It's not my birthday. I have all these balloons on this cake and everything. But Bob and his wife surprised me.
Yes.
It was last week, and he surprised me with this today, which is so sweet. Has a unicorn on it. There's a whole story behind that. And so I'm very excited
That's a
that
trick to cover up the fact you forgot somebody's birthday and make a big deal about it. Oh, I'm just waiting.
no. And now I get to have my dear friend here today, which is like such a blessing and such an honor. It's been so long since I've been able to see you.
It's been a long time.
We have to pull your mic forward a little bit. I want to be able to hear everything you have to say.
Okay. Is that
A
better?
little more.
A little more?
Here, I'll make that. There we go. Like right there?
Yeah.
Like that?
Okay.
Okay, you want to stay like a couple inches, 6 inches away. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so Liberty Dawn is in the house.
I'm in the house. I'm in
She's
this
the
house.
Can we get Yes.
I love it.
And I will explain how we met.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. All right.
But first, we usually have a word of the day.
Okay.
And we don't have that because Bob didn't do his homework.
Hey, my rib's broken.
I'm totally forgot. You have like a whole pass. It's just a broken rib. I've had one and they're horrible.
That'll
just
heal by
terrible.
next
Well,
episode.
listen, we have a serious prayer warrior here, so she'll pray. Liberty. But my stepdad has been sending me all these really cool quotes. So I wanted to, his name is Rod, and I wanted to just name a few of them that were really cool. One is from Napoleon Hill. A goal is a dream with a deadline.
I like that.
Isn't it good?
I like that. Yes.
And the other one that this one's good. Babe Ruth said, "Yesterday's home runs don't win today's games." Which
I
means
love
keep
that.
going forward, right?
Right.
And just keep pressing in. So,
Right.
I love that he has sent me these, and there'll be more to come. There's more on here, but I want to get to you, Liberty.
Okay.
I want to cry already.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry.
I met Liberty. How long ago? How many years ago?
Gosh, Angel's in her 4th year in college, so that must be like
30,
5 years
75 years ago?
No, it was
Bob.
it was longer than that. It was like 8,
Was
wasn't it? 8. Ariana's in her
85
4th year
years ago?
too, so it's
Oh wow.
maybe 7 or 8 years
7?
ago at our
78 years ago.
7 or 8 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. At
Something like that.
At Oaks Christian.
Oaks Christian.
In a Moms in Prayer group.
Yes.
And we were just we're like,
We were instantly drawn to each other.
yes. And you have such a gift and such
Thank
a heart
you.
for God and such a incredible faith
Yes.
that has brought you through some really difficult times, which I'm sure we'll share today.
Yes.
As much of your story. But I haven't seen you in a very long time.
I know. Too long.
You've been kind enough.
Tell the story.
Tell what story?
I love Bob.
The story that we decided to tell on air that we did before air, and you said, we should do this on air. And then we started the whole episode so that we could tell
Oh,
the story.
sorry.
Okay.
That story.
I love him.
And back to you,
I'm
Liberty.
gonna laugh
because
this whole time. I'm gonna laugh
you
this
are.
whole time.
Oh, I laugh when I'm not even here about Bob.
Yeah.
Bob, did I
That's
say
like my
Bob or
favorite
about
thing to
Bob? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll never live that
love
down. Well, you walked in and tell the listeners what you had with you.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Tell the listeners what you had with you when
Oh
you
my
walked
God,
in.
have you forgotten already?
Oh no, I haven't.
It was
Bob.
literally like 38 seconds ago.
I didn't. You know, you speak fast
What's that?
sometimes, and
We
so
do,
I
I
just
do.
caught it. Okay, I
listening
caught
slow.
it. Okay, I love that. All right. So when I came in, yes, I came bearing gifts for you,
No, you're so sweet.
or a
I
gift.
still have on the floor, which you
And
can reach
that-
down and grab right now.
Give her a minute.
Sometimes people need
We just
direction.
haven't seen each other in a long time.
This is for you, Cory, dear
Oh my
Cory.
gosh.
And I can't even I feel like I can't take credit for it, honestly, because I was in Sephora just getting some perfume. And as they rang me up, they said, you know, this is your birthday's coming up and we have a gift for you. And I said, okay. So on the box, I noticed when I got home, it says happy birthday. And immediately, though, I started seeing your face.
Oh my gosh.
I started seeing your face.
Because you didn't know it was my birthday
No,
until you
I
came
had
into
no
the
idea.
studio.
I had no idea. And I started seeing your face. And then I started seeing myself wrap it for you because I was hearing the Lord say, give it to Cory. Because I saw your lips. And I remember the background. And I said, oh, yeah, she does. She likes it. And I said, but God, I don't even know when I probably am, past her birthday. And she's going to think it's probably weird.
No,
and
it was
I kept
last week.
seeing it. I didn't know. I had kept seeing it. So this morning again, I almost rethought it. And I said, maybe I should get her some pastries or something. I can bring pastries to.
no.
And God
Yes.
said, no, it's her birthday. Give it to her now.
She's had
And I
enough.
and then it was about your lips and lip balm, reminding me. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to just do it. Wrapped it back, kept it wrapped, and brought it in here. And then lo and behold, you've got your cake, a birthday cake, and
Yes.
balloons. I had no idea.
Yes, well,
it's your birthday.
Let me tell you something. You are
But the
so
Lord
kind
knew.
to give me your birthday present. That's Liberty, right off the bat. She gives me her birthday present. Come on. And first of all, I love this brand. I know I have my
I
own lip
am
balm line,
so
but I
glad.
do use this brand every night.
Wow.
And it is called I think it's Laneige.
Oh,
but
Laneige.
Laneige.
How many are in there?
3.
Oh, because it's a
2.
very small product for such a big box.
No, they're bigger. Usually, these are sample.
Yeah.
samples?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it really is a fantastic product, and I use it every night. So thank
Oh,
you.
wow.
I love you. Thank
See,
you.
now-
Only
Thank you
he
for
would know
thinking
that.
of me.
Only God would know that, though.
I
because
know.
I'm telling you, I was second guessing myself, thinking, "Oh, she's going to think that's weird. Why give her
No.
my birthday gift?" And I kept seeing it, and I said,
I'm
"Okay, I'm just
honored.
gonna go with that."
See, now
I'm
that's
so
your
honored.
take.
Wait, let me just put
My-
this in.
What is
Sorry.
your take, Bob?
My take is you just re-gifted a present from God. God gave you a birthday present and you re-gifted it.
Oh,
You think of it that way.
That's so sweet.
I love that.
You like that?
Yes.
Okay.
He was trying to be mean, but it
It
didn't
was
work.
it didn't work. Darn it.
Didn't work.
Trying to be mean. Oh, and see, I didn't even
I
get
gotta
it.
try harder.
I didn't even get
All right, I'll try harder.
Sam's here.
Do I have a 10 what? No, I gave this 3 20s.
Wait, I might.
Oh, my Lord. Ask for change when you give a tip.
Yeah, they'll give you.
By the way, that's a
change.
very big no-no in my family.
Okay.
I gave her, she wanted to go out and get her nails done, so I put money on her card and I gave her cash. I need more money on the card. You have cash. I don't want to pay with cash. I want to pay with my card. I give you back the cash.
I'm gonna
So
go with that.
when you
Rita.
get in there, ask for a change. Make sure you get a 20, 2 5s, and 5 ones.
Liberty, thank you so much.
You're
This is
so
thoughtful
welcome. And I
so
love the regifting,
amazing.
Bob said. I love
And it
that.
does say happy birthday, and it's just such a beautiful thing. They have Sephora's really good about that. They always honor people's birthdays, and they
They
keep it in
do.
their system. So
They
You know
do.
what's-
Thank you.
But
why
you know
that's
what
so good? Because at Kohl's, sometimes they give you like a $10 gift card,
Yeah.
which I throw back at them.
Okay.
Because I've gotten so many $10 gift cards that have cost me $300. Because you go in there and you buy $300 worth of stuff, and I wouldn't go there without the $10 card. You feel
Right,
like you're
right,
losing money.
right,
Yeah,
right.
I can't afford gift cards.
hold on a second. I've got change in here, honey.
I will add one more thing, though, too, that I did hear this very specifically. She'll appreciate it.
Here, I've got a 10. Take it.
Thank you.
Okay.
No, give it to Sam.
She
Give
said she
Sam
didn't want
a
it.
10. I'm,
She said she didn't want it.
Happy birthday.
Sammy, give me one of your 20s. I'll give you the 10.
Anyway, Liberty, I
is a
love
fun
you.
house.
I know it's a fun house.
It is a
And
fun house. I
can't
can
wait
tell.
to get to all of your stories because you
Okay.
have. First of all, I'm going to try to get through this without crying.
Okay.
Not going to happen.
I know it's not going to happen, but you have been such an instrumental part in my life. We always show up in each other's lives in these godly moments, and
Yeah.
they're always divine, and there's always this amazing outcome.
Yes.
And before we get into your book, which was called "The Baby's Name Is Angel,"
Yes.
which is your baby's name.
Yes.
And you have a spiritual boot camp we're going to talk about.
Okay.
And you, of course, have a website called Liberty Dawn United.
Yes.
That is
United.
just what Bob and I have been trying to do for the last 70 episodes, which,
Yeah.
by the way, I'm going to cry.
70 episodes. This is number 70.
I know it is, and it just hit
This
me
is
because
number
God
70.
says in the Bible, He says you're to forgive people 7 times 70.
Yes.
And so this is a
Wow.
significant this is a significant number for God and the Bible, and me too, and you,
Wow.
because like I said, we haven't seen each other in a while.
Right.
We were in Moms in Prayer together, and you have some really Holy Spirit stories, and I don't want to tell them, I want you to. So
Okay.
you know that Bob and I started the show to unite people
Yes.
on the right and the left, the believers, the unbelievers, the just broken. Anyone who wanted to come on
Yes.
would have a platform to tell their short story and share their lives. And
Okay.
no judgment.
Okay. I love that.
And so when I talked to you, we talked about that, and that's your mission
Yes.
as well. But when I looked at your website, you have, which is incredible, boots on the ground. We are
Yes.
God's boots on the ground.
We are.
And
We
I am an
are.
ambassador for the boot campaign.
Wow.
And that is what theirs is, and that's for the military.
Oh my gosh.
But weaving this all together, we're all a part of God's military.
Absolutely.
And so we are His boots on the ground.
we are
So
indeed.
tell me, Liberty, first of all, thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
No, I love you. You're
I love
a dear
you back.
sister, and
No, I
and
love Bob.
I know you do. Oh, you got another soundbite.
He's so lovable.
Love Bob.
Right.
I love Bob.
No, Liberty said that. But you, please share your story. Share
Okay.
anything you want to share. We'll just have a dialogue.
Okay. Wow. I feel so full right now because of everything that you just said. The 70 times 7. How much do you forgive your brother when he sins against you? And I'm actually writing a film script right now, a feature, and it deals with that subject of forgiveness. And But I want to segue to what you said about we are God's boots on the ground, because we are. He has been ministering to my spirit. Actually, 5 years ago it started. He was giving me these revelations about bringing his people on earth into alignment. But he put it into the word cadence. He says, I'm going to bring you into proper cadence because you've got soldiers in the heavenly realm, these angels who are warring for you. But I need to bring my people on earth into alignment with their cadence. And so I kept seeing these military boots. And then that segued into, I came home one day and my husband had laid out this whole military outfit on the bed. It was the shirt and all the fatigues were there on the bed, the hat, everything. The boots were on the floor. And I went into the living room. I said, Rob, like, why did you buy that for me? And I had my first intentional gathering that God orchestrated through me. It wasn't like I landed into something. This was something he said, I want you to do this. And so I was a little trepidatious about it because I had not gotten out of my boat enough. And so I invited all these women to my home. And a little bit shy of 30 showed. And he had been saying in my heart, 30 women and a few good men. Bob, you'll be in that category, a few good men.
30 women or the few good men?
Oh, nice.
Good comeback.
Oh, he's got them all, trust me.
We're all locked up here.
So during that event, these women showed up at my house and a few good men showed up. And it ended up being very military focused. And so a friend of mine who's a designer, Tamichi, came over and he decorated my whole front yard and it looked like a fort.
Wow.
And it was incredible. And it wasn't just the aesthetics. It was the fact that God says, when the women come in, I want them to walk into my presence. I want them to walk in with music strummed, because there are things that are going to be falling off of these women who've been carrying so much on their backs, and they need a place of reprieve. They just need a place of rest before I take them into their place of destiny. And so you're going to facilitate that. You're going to have music playing. And so I found a guitarist. And everything the Lord was asking me to do to prepare for the women arriving, he kept referring to them as soldiers. Well, everything that he said I did. My husband had already gotten me this outfit, not knowing all this stuff was going to start coming together. And I want to say the icing on the cake, because I almost chickened out. I did chicken out about maybe 4 days before they came. It started to feel too big for me. And I've been such a private person, only allowing a very select group of people into my world. So this was me opening up my doors of my heart more than I ever had to women that I didn't really know. And so, but like I said, about 4 days before, I almost chickened out, and I'm reaching into my closet looking for something totally different, nothing related to the event. And I'm feeling something that felt so odd, and it was very hard, very cold. And I'm like, what the heck? And I pull this thing out, and it's a helmet, a soldier's military, an authentic old helmet. And I'm like, where did this come from? I asked Rob. No, he didn't know where it came from. Asked all my kids. No one knew where it came from. I said, okay, this is ridiculous. I mean, someone's got to know. I called my oldest son, who doesn't live with us anymore, and he says, no, it's not mine. And my husband was in the military, wasn't his. And then one of Angel's, our daughter's friends, come over, and I'm showing it to her, and I'm discussing. She said, how's your event planning going? I said, it's going okay. I said, but I'm thinking about possibly, postponing it. And then she looks, I said, but this weird thing I just found in my closet, and no one can explain where it came from. And so she's looking in it, and she says, oh, wow. And their birth date is in here. It's 10/27.
No.
Yes. I'm like, what? And she says, what? What's wrong? I said, Alex, please. I said, seriously?
No way.
I said, hand me that helmet. So I look in the helmet, and it says date of birth, DOB 10/27. I'm like, oh my God. And she said, what? I said, that's my birth date. I said, no one knows where this helmet came from. I said, I now know where it came from, because I've been through these very interesting ethereal, supernatural moments before where you cannot explain it outside of it being God.
I know.
Where things have come from, it felt like thin air.
Yes.
He's laid out things for me, things on my bed, laid it out that I needed, that I didn't seek for. And initially it freaked me out when he was doing stuff like this. Early on, I'm like, okay, I love you, but I don't know if I'm ready for this level. And he had to start training me to experience the supernatural, because so many Christians in particular have been trained out of it. We've been told in the scriptures what is possible, but then when it goes to the practicality of it and living it out, oh no, they only did that back then. No, that's absolutely false. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And what he did and modeled, we are to do, and we can do if we have enough faith to start activating it. And so with this helmet, I was forced to reconcile, you know what, you're doing it. Fearful or not, you're going to do it.
And then the helmet of
was the blessing,
right?
Yes, the helmet of salvation. And in that obedience was the blessing, because the women came, the event was absolutely amazing, but it started pulling me out of my boat to share with, like I said, those that I barely knew, this next level of experience with the Lord, that it's not just on the page, it's an actual experience. He wants us to know him through experience, through intimacy, through relationship. And when you start breaking down knowing to know God, in Hebrew, it goes back to intimacy. Like a man is intimate with his wife. That's on a deeper level. And so God was asking me, how deep do you really want to go? Well, I want to go deep, Lord. So take me and show me these areas in the secret place that I can then extract and pull back into real time and begin to teach to others, so that they don't feel like they're victims. There's so much emphasis on victimhood. We are not victims. If you're a child of God and you know who your God is, God says those who know their God, those who are intimate with me, they shall do great exploits. Those are his words. So we should be having an amazing adventure with him and experiencing things because there's no limitations on him. And so that brings me back to you calling me yesterday at takeoff. At takeoff. I'm like, how is my phone ringing and we're climbing? That has never, ever, ever happened before. And it was a reminder to me, though, that the Lord has been ministering to me about, with all the chaos that's happening around us right now, he says it's time to take off. The enemy is trying to keep you grounded, behaving like a chicken, like just grounded. He says, but you're destined to have the eagle life. And so I'm going to take my people. And when he says my people, he's not excluding anyone who wants to be in his tribe, his family. You know, God is very, how would I say? He's inclusive. Very inclusive, thank you, with his love and his provisions, but he's very exclusive with the truth. Like, there are not multiple truths. He is the truth. And so he's, you know, as you said, inclusive in reach, but he's exclusive, and that road gets very narrow when we start talking about what truth is. He says to me, it's as narrow as 1 + 1. Is 1 + 1 3 or 6 or 10 because you'd like to be creative on a certain day? Because you'd like to just play with the numbers? No, because we're talking about precision. God is a precise God. And so if we're talking about taking flight, oh my gosh, you better be precise. You'd better be precise. You'd better know those coordinates. You'd better know what are the equations that take you, you know, to another level. And when you're because God is a mathematician, he's a scientist, and so he's been teaching me how to communicate his word in it from a different place. And so he's showing me him as a scientist, and he's merging these worlds, because for him, they've never been separated. The language of the scientist and the language of the faith is the same language. They're interwoven. They're like, it's one coin, but it's two sides to it. You just flip the coin over, you work together. And so this is the season where God is reconciling all things to himself, and he's wanting us to understand that in unity there's power, not in divisiveness, right? He says a house divided against itself will not stand. It cannot stand. It's an impossibility for it to stand because one is going to the right and one is going to the left. But God is right. He's like, okay, come. He's just wrapping his arms around us and saying, come, whosoever come. Together, unified. Yes. And so he's been painting this picture to me about, he calls it the love train. The love train and the love parade. He's given me a couple of different terms, but the image of this is that we're going to start traveling now as a unit, as an army, a one-man army going around the world. Because he said, I sit above the circle of the earth. And so he's sovereignly watching and orchestrating all of these things that we can draw our attention away from the what's to our immediate right and our left. And he's like, look up. Last week, specifically, I think maybe the middle of the week, I'd become my heart felt heavy. And I was taking on I'm interceding constantly on the behalf of others, which I love, so I'm not complaining. But if I don't release that to the Lord, it starts to feel like you're carrying these heavy, heavy burdens, which you are, and you're not equipped to do that, but he is. But I went into the room, my prayer room, and I got on my knees, and just before prayer, I'm just feeling so heavy-hearted. And I said, Lord, I've got to hurry up and get into worship because I can't take this. And I look up to pull the window open, to slide the window open, because I'm praying right beneath the window.
Please don't tell me there was a praying mantis.
Oh, no.
Because I had that yesterday, and I'll share that story, but go ahead.
But no, what I saw was the blue-black sky, because it was about 4:35 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
And all the stars twinkling. And immediately, everything that I was so weighed down by felt so small. He put it into the proper place quickly, into the palm of my hand, and he says, look up and catch a glimpse of something greater than yourself.
Yeah.
And it was in that moment that I'm looking up just to pull the window open that he got my attention with the sky. And I was able to look up and catch a glimpse of something greater than myself, than my weakness, than the problems that I'm carrying on my back, all of that. And it was just like he took it from me and I gave it to him. And I said, Lord, I've got to make this like a consistent practice, because the opposite is true as well, where he says, remember, I want you to have the attitude in this season, the attitude of altitude. So that as you're, like when you're in that airplane and you're climbing and you reach that altitude of 37,000 feet, how insignificant does everything beneath you become? He says, because I hold the ocean waters in the hollow of my hand, right? And I take the mountains of the earth and I weigh them on scales like dust. And so that is whatever problem that you're contending with, whether it's all the pandemic scares around us, all of that. He's like, you must learn, you must know that you can do this. Take those things and weigh them like I do.
100%. And I think Colton Burpo talked about it. He wrote a book. I think Todd and Colton Burpo, I believe, wrote a book called Heaven is for Real.
Oh,
where
wow.
his son Colton, Todd's son Colton, went through an experience at like 5 or 6 years old, and the experience when he went through it, the Colton said that God holds us all in the palm of his hand.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
and he so does.
He
right,
does,
Cory?
and he saw this, and he does hold us in the palm of his hand. And just to your point, we had a big storm here a couple nights ago.
That's what I heard, and I missed it.
Yeah, you were gone.
I missed it.
It was unlike any storm I'd felt here before, and I was texting my daughter and my friends and saying, I don't know, it was that intense.
Yes.
And the next morning, and I will superimpose the picture, I'll give it to Bob. But the next morning, and I've never seen this on my balcony, and I always go out to my balcony in the morning with my dog and just kind of pray and meditate and read from the books and do my Moms in Prayer, even though I'm not in Moms in Prayer. I just do it out on my balcony. And I look, and there's the most beautiful praying mantis.
Wow.
And it just stared at me.
Oh.
I'll put the picture. It literally just stared at me for like 25 minutes, and it stayed on my deck the whole day.
Wow.
And so I sat and prayed with it, and then of course I look it up, and it said that it's it's some Christians think that it's if it's at your home that you're surrounded by angels, and I've been talking to my angels a lot lately, and so in you're one of them. One of the first things that we talked about, and I would like to segue into this
Yes.
because you have a book called The Baby's Name is Angel. It's on your
Yes.
website, libertydawnunited.com. And you really impacted me in one of our first conversations in Moms in Prayer.
Okay.
And is it okay to share this story?
Yes, absolutely. It's a
Sometimes
testimony.
we go through life and there's these moments where we have faith and then there's these moments where we have blind faith.
Yes.
And it's for things that you cannot see.
Yes.
And you are just praying and you are believing.
Yes.
And you shared a story with me in Moms in Prayer, at the end of Moms in Prayer.
Yeah.
And it did blow my mind. And we went on to pray for another child. I believe it was that year.
Okay.
And I'll talk about that a little bit more. But share the
Okay.
story of what you prayed for when your daughter was in your womb, still in your
Yes.
belly.
Oh gosh, it's such a powerful situation because 2 years prior to me even being pregnant with Angel, my sister-in-law, who has a very powerful gift of hearing God's voice in her dreams, she'd had a dream about me having this little baby girl, but she said, in the dream, there was something wrong with the child's body. The child was deformed. The little girl was deformed. And she was describing the images to me she saw in the dream. And she said, you're not pregnant, are you? And I said, no. And so I was relieved to tell her, no, I'm not, because I didn't want the dream to be true. Mm-hmm. Because her dreams were always so accurate, right?
I have those too.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. That's why I understood what she was saying, and
Some
I didn't
good,
want it
some
to
bad,
be.
but yes.
That's right. Right. You want the good ones. And so to make a long story short, 2 years go by, we get pregnant, and we're expecting our child, and I started feeling very. Just something was off. When something's off within you, but you can't put a finger on exactly what it is. You can't articulate it, but there's something different. And I knew there was something different from this pregnancy as opposed to the pregnancy with my son. And we proceeded to get tests and everything, and just the normal routine, what you go through. And there had been an evil report. I'll call it an evil report because that's exactly what it felt like. And I went home feeling like, oh my gosh, this can't be happening, because it was the fulfillment of the dream that my sister-in-law had, where the blood tests, where everything was pointing to our daughter having spina bifida. And so my whole pregnancy was an up and down roller coaster of torment. Because one moment, I can't even say one day I'd have faith. It was moment to moment, breath to breath. I was losing faith, having faith, losing it, and I didn't know how to retain it. And so I was just struggling the whole time, and I was a wreck, emotional wreck, always crying and not really eating that well. And everything was stressful. And it got to, I'm going to cut to the end of the book, and I hope I don't ruin it, but basically, I did not get peace until I collapsed on my knees, as big as I was, in the aisles of the church where we were, in between the pews. I was all crammed up.
Can I just ask you what month you were at
That was, I was in, 40 weeks of pregnancy?
Oh, so you were ready
I was
to deliver.
at like 37, 37,
wow,
38.
that's an important part of the story. You were
Exactly. I was almost ready to deliver her. And it was that she could have come anytime. And they had an emergency team prepared for us, because I kept...
But for those that are listening, spina bifida, your spine is literally open.
Yes,
it
your
has not
spine is
fused
open.
together.
It has not fused together.
So up until now, they're still telling you that the baby is going to have to be removed and be taken immediately into surgery.
Yes,
immediate.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Because the warnings were, you're not going to have a healthy child. We can see it on the ultrasounds, all the blood tests, everything is accurate. And I could see it, we could see. And they were trying to encourage me, if you can call it courage, but to abort my pregnancy. They said, you really need to terminate, because it's not fair to bring a child into the world who is going to be deformed like this. And the day I first got that said to me, I know it's hard, but when I first heard those words for the very first exam, when we first went in, and when they finally said this is what's going on, I ran out of the medical room or the doctor's office, and I went to my car, tears galore. And I turn on my car. I'm trying to pull myself together to head back to work because I was at an appointment on my lunch break. And do you know, James Dobson came on the radio. He was on the radio, and he said, why do people feel like, or why are they told that disabled children do not have the same value as other children, and people terminate them? And I'm like sitting in the car,
an accident.
like, what?
Yeah.
I immediately snapped out of it, and I'm like, I'm still emotional, but I'm like, I'm listening to every word coming out of his mouth, because the timing of that, I just heard that upstairs.
Yeah.
Within less than 10 minutes, I'm hearing that on the radio, but the opposite. And from that point, that's where I was struggling, because I said, God, you already showed me what's going on with our daughter. So does that mean if I pray against it, that I'm countering your will? Because are you showing me that this is your will? And I was so perplexed. I didn't know. And I sought counsel. No one could give me any answers, wise answers, except for my father-in-law, who just asked me at one point, he says, look, whose report are you going to believe? You're going to have to get settled in your heart and mind, and not to keep vacillating back and forth, being tossed around like the ocean. You've got to get settled, anchored. And I thought, okay, and that was easier said than done for me, because every time I had another appointment, which I ended up having to quit my job, because every appointment was ended up being, except instead of one time like every couple of weeks, it was like 3 times a week I was at different doctors, because they kept discovering more problems, brain problems, heart problems. So they were hooking me up to all these different machines to test her heart, which she was failing all the tests. And so again, I'd hear the words and whispering, why won't she terminate? And I'm so grateful to God that I didn't terminate. We have a healthy, strong daughter. Gosh, now I'm going to cry.
No, listen.
Because her life almost wasn't, her life almost was not manifested in reality. I saw in my spirit one time, the Lord said, return to sender. Because that was at one point, that was a confession that God called me to reveal, not just to my family, but to the public. I mean, I don't know if you've been on my website and seen the confession, but I thought, God, you want me to come out like that? You imagine yourself jumping into your dream, very glamorous and whatever. But God was like, no, I want you to release this. This is how I want you to come out. And so it was that process of unzipping my coat, opening it up, and bearing myself, and being vulnerable, because we all do have some kind of sin that we are dealing with or have dealt with. None of us are perfect. He is perfect, but we are being made perfect as we submit ourselves to him. And he's the only one who can do that. But he works with the broken. And I love that. And that's what he was doing with me, is that he was challenging me, do not be afraid to open up your coat and show. Because in that place, you're going to be snatching someone else out of a place where they feel like they're alone, and they don't realize how commonplace this is. And
well, I remember that year that you told me that, and we were in Moms in Prayer. We had we had a request from somebody that didn't even go to our school.
Yes.
But a child they had been told something similar, that they had only one kidney. And I remember we all prayed for this baby. It was an indirect family member's child.
Okay.
And we all prayed for this baby to be born with 2 kidneys. And 3 months after the baby was born, they brought the baby in, and the baby had 2 kidneys. And I was like, I actually remember you talking about this.
It grew a kidney?
Yes.
He or she grew a kidney?
Yes. And it was much like how God fused Angel's spine together.
He fused her spine together.
And when she was born.
Yeah, because when she was born, like I said, they were preparing. They had an emergency team they let us know about, that they were going to have to take her right into surgery. And Angel came out, and there was nothing wrong. There was nothing wrong with her brain any longer. There was nothing wrong with her heart. She had no heart defects. Her spine was closed. There was no opening because they, on the monitors, it wasn't closing. And there was none of that. None of that. I'll say this, though. There was, when you would lie her down on the bed, her rib cage protruded out on both sides very much. It was very unusual to me how much her rib cage protruded out. And so I thought that was just like the reminder that there was something, but look at what I've done.
Yeah.
And she has grown up to be, like I said, just an
Wonderfully
amazing.
beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She's an angel.
She's an angel. She's a messenger.
I don't know what her name was when she was in your belly, but I'm sure that was like solidified.
Yes,
She's an
you will
angel.
find that out in the book. It is, the baby's name is Angel, from the battle to the crown, because it was a battle to get to that crowning point of when the head comes out and you receive. So it's symbolic at the same time, the title, but it really was a battle. It was a war to get her into this world with all of the, the push, every, pretty much every appointment, you should consider termination. And just from different staff members and people who knew what I was coming in, just my regular checkups. And so there was a lot of pressure. And so it was not easy to make that decision, but I knew I did not want to go back. And I knew I had grown to understand the value of life at every stage. So I was not willing to go back to what that place where I was immature and I was so young and I did not understand. But I knew there was always a nagging feeling underneath. That was a life in there.
Yeah.
So it came around full circle to me valuing life and fighting for life. And I'll wrap it up with this. I ended up saying, when I had dropped to my knees, that was the point where I finally got peace. In that church, collapsed on my knees, all squeezed up with my big self, because I was I had gained so much weight and I was pushing up against the thing, but I didn't care. I needed an answer from the Lord. And when I finally submitted and I said, you know what, if this is your will that she's going to be disabled, I know you're going to give me ample love, ample assistance, whatever we need, it will be there. And we will love her. We will love her. So disabled or not, this daughter is going to get loved. And that's exactly that's where I got my peace, though, that it didn't matter which way it went. It didn't matter disabled, not disabled. We were going to love this child. And I knew God is a lover. There's no greater lover in the world than the Lord. Outside of the world, in the world, he is the lover. And so that
kind of like
calmed
when
me
Abraham
down.
put
Yes.
his son on the block and said, "Hey."
That's right.
I know I couldn't do that.
I failed that test in 2 seconds.
Exactly, Bob. I mean, yeah. And so, which I would love to just right now interject the story. How what a great dad you are.
Because I won't kill my son.
No, because of your daughter. Like, he's just so, he is. But
You made me pull something that time when I laughed. I pulled something. I know I did.
But it's not a sacrifice we easily made. So you laid it down and he just showed up and showed off in ways that you couldn't even imagine.
And showed
so
off.
Cool.
I love the way you put that. It is so cool because God is so cool. He is so misrepresented for too long. And that's another thing I'll share with you all. He says, you are part of the cleanup crew. I said, I like it. He says, because he has been so misrepresented that people have thought him to be who he's not. And God is saying, I'm ready to reveal full force who I am, but through those who have come into my family. Like, he's activating us. He's activating us and preparing us with this love train, this love parade.
I don't think, and I could be wrong, I don't know. I just, my own personal relationship with, I remember on the first day I drove up into Oaks Christian.
Yes.
I was raised in a Christian home and I always believed in God and Jesus. But when I drove up into this school, I was behind this big Escalade and it had this huge bumper sticker and it said, it was like loud and clear.
Yeah.
Christians aren't perfect. They're just forgiven by a God who is.
I love that. So perfect.
Yeah, it was the first day of
So
Ariana's school in the
perfect.
6th grade. And I was like, that summed it up for me.
Yeah.
And I think oftentimes, whatever religion you are, you're expected to be perfect. And we're not.
Yeah, we're not.
We're not. And we fail and we sin and we fall short of his glory.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's much like our relationships with our children.
Yes.
Is we forgive them.
Yes.
We love them.
Absolutely.
And we just say, hey, try to make a different choice next time.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And we need that. Who does not need that kind of support, especially when you fall? That's when it's most significant. When you are in that pit, whatever that looks like for you, when you are in the quicksand, you desperately need someone to look and see you and be willing to pull you out, be willing. In fact, that was a warning I got during the pandemic. He says, self-preservation is killing you. And it was, the picture was all of these people who have grown so fearful of even leaving their homes or going to visit family. And because of all of the reports that are coming out, oh no, it may not be good to go to your family's homes for Christmas. And yet you are. And so there was all of this, deception going on, or still going on. So God is saying, again, whose report are you going to believe? Because it's going to fall either way. He says everything, Liberty, is a coin toss. You're going to have both sides of the coin every time, and it is a choice. Are you going to live according to the tail or the head? And so we are supposed to be living according to the mind, the head of God. And we're not victims in that mindset at all. We are more than conquerors. And these aren't just words, but he is challenging us to implement. He asked me personally, how much do you value my word in your mouth? And he woke me up with that. Talk about, my heart literally was racing, and I rolled off the couch. I'd fallen asleep on the couch. I rolled off onto my knees, and I couldn't stop weeping because he kept saying it. How much do you value my word in your mouth? And he began to break down. So I got my notebook and I began to take dictation of everything he said. And he gave me so many examples about just helping me to better understand, when you go to work with my word and you believe it, there is an activation. You are literally speaking power into the atmosphere to change the situation. You are shifting atmospheres.
Yeah.
Every time, wherever you go, you are able to do this if you understand it.
It's good at there's life and death in the power of your
Absolutely.
tongue. So
there's life and death.
you have to be careful of
both sides of the coin.
Sides of the coin.
Every time. And so I had to pay closer attention. I'm trying to do that now. Pay closer attention to my words and the words of others as they come into my ear gate. Do I really need to embrace that? Is that true? How does that ring? But I need to measure it up to the word of God. If it doesn't measure up, it's getting tossed because it doesn't benefit me.
We'll speak to the one time when you and I met, and I won't even go into the details of that, but how the enemy was trying to come up against either one of us, and we stood there for each other, and it didn't happen.
Yes, no, it didn't happen. In fact, because my husband and I, we weren't seeing eye to eye on a lot of things, and you swooped in and encouraged me out of the blue. You didn't even know where I was going to be that day or where I was, period. You weren't even thinking about me. I wasn't on your radar, but I was on God's radar. And because you are led by God, you swooped in at the right time when I could have made a lot of horrible decisions, because we do tend to make horrible decisions in a moment of passion, whether that's passion in anger or passion on a high that's good. It's like it's euphoria, and you make these decisions that are not always wise because they're emotional. They're emotional in nature, and so you came in with God's wisdom and encouraged me to push through arguments, push through the miscommunication, the broken lines of communication, and ministered to my soul as to how to repair, do the damage control on bringing intimacy back, and becoming good friends again. And I won't ruin that for you as to how you did that, but it was needed. It was needed.
Well, I don't want to say victim, but a product of divorce. And so that was my ministry at the time. And I know how the enemy tries to break up families, because if we can all be floundering, trying to figure out, what we're doing, then we can't really be about his business.
No, we can't.
It was supernatural. That was like an amazing divine appointment. And then, and I wasn't even going to tell the story. I was just basically saying that when you have something going on of that magnitude or another magnitude, you want to surround yourself or listen to the people God brings to you that speak life into the situation and not death into the situation.
And you did that. And I can tell you, my husband is my biggest fan.
I know he is. I love him. I see
He's
you.
so supportive.
He really is. He just looks
He's
at you
my
and nods.
biggest
So
fan.
sweet.
Yes, so I'm so grateful for him. In fact, he wanted to come here today. I said, I don't think you can go.
Oh, you
I'm like,
could have, yes.
Absolutely. We'd love to have him. Yeah, we got a whole green room right over there for him.
He wanted to come. I didn't. I felt bad now. I feel bad now.
Yes. Well, we
So,
love your husband and your family, and it's just amazing how, you know,
Yes.
God works in your life. You always have the most amazing stories.
I'm
like,
so grateful.
But you
God gives me
listen.
great stories. Yeah.
and you
he
press
does.
in. And I often liken this, you know, my relationship with God now, I liken it to my relationship with my daughter.
Oh, I love
and
that.
when she went off to college,
Yes.
I had 2 boxes of Kleenex in the car, and it was the ugly
They
cry.
were gone in 3 minutes.
Yeah. It was that, a real deep, you know, we were very close, and it was a real,
How could she leave me?
I know, right?
22
Not
hours
that
in
far.
labor, I swear to God.
48, just to
40,
be clear on
48.
that.
You spent
But
48 hours in labor.
actually, I did. 48 hours. You can talk to anyone. It was
Do you
48
nap
hours.
in the middle or something,
No,
or?
it was a whole birthing issue that was much like, you know, it was just a real thing. But it was
Somebody
48.
didn't want to leave the womb.
She didn't. And she talks about that years later. She said, I didn't want to come. It was so comfortable and warm in there. She remembers. It was crazy. That's a whole other show.
Holding on to the umbilical cord for dear
I
life.
know, right?
I totally believe that.
Oh, no, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But I lost my train of thought, Barb. I forgot what I was talking about.
Who's Barb?
Bob. What was I talking
You
about?
lost a lot of memory cells there, didn't
I'm
you?
telling you,
making
I
me-
did.
Bob, you're making me lose my
I
train
know.
of thought.
He's too much. I can't tell you. Our pre-shows are what really should be shown
That's
because
my gift.
I know it is.
So
You
funny.
are gifted. That's
you
for
are
sure.
gifted. I believe it. I see it.
But anyway, I guess my point is that, you know, I don't have one. That's my
You can't say, I guess my point is when it's not
I
in the
don't
head.
have one.
You got to have that point locked
I
and
know.
loaded before you say that.
Well, I had a real serious point, and now it's like escaped me, and I don't know what it was. Thank you, Bob, for that. I'm just so excited you're here today because
I am
it has been a
excited
while,
too.
and
I'm
there are
excited
always
too.
those divine appointments, and you know what?
Yes.
Pray without ceasing, and
Yes.
and find those people that will stand with you in those
Absolutely.
moments
Absolutely.
that you struggle with, whatever they are.
Whatever they
Whatever
are.
they are. And mine at that moment happened to be I had a passion for, going back to my point, saving people's marriages. I can't do that, but God can.
God can.
And so I would always ask him, put me in a position to help others since I couldn't
Yes.
save mine.
Yes.
I really want to save others, help save others.
Yeah.
Because I know how the enemy comes in and tries to break you up.
Yeah.
And I've seen you and your husband together, and you're absolutely adorable. So
Thank you.
I love
Thank
that
you.
God is so good and faithful.
He is so good and faithful.
Don't you, Bob?
I do.
Poor Bob. Anybody out there, if you're thinking of Bob, just pray for him. He broke a rib, and so let's pray for him to have supernatural, expedited recovery.
Absolutely.
Because that is so painful, and I know that feeling.
Okay.
So I'm sorry you did get sacked, although I would love to see the video on
It's
that.
not sacked, it's checked.
Sorry.
Sacked is
Checked.
football, checked is hockey.
Oh, that's true.
There's
It's
nothing in
hockey.
basketball and
funny.
baseball because those guys don't get anywhere near each other.
I know. Well, Liberty, you have a spiritual boot camp. You have
Yes.
LibertyDawnUnited.com, and you are also an actress.
Yes.
A very, very prolific, profound writer. I've read a lot of your things, and you're amazing.
Thank you.
And you had in the beginning of, sorry.
I
You
have
can't
a
reach it.
broken rib. I can't reach there.
I'll get it for you. Wow, we're going to hear about this rib for a
Oh,
very
it's
long
going to be
time.
months.
Oh, no, it's not, because we just prayed that it would be really fast.
Even if it heals, I don't tell
Healing.
anybody. I keep going.
Listen, we have an amazing woman here whose baby was supposed to, and is, this is incredible. It's incredible. And you know what God says in the last days, and even before that, he'll give
Yeah.
you signs and wonders.
You give us signs
I
and
see them all the
wonders.
time.
Miracles, signs and wonders, and they are happening.
And that's
They're happening.
it says, do not be afraid 365 times in the Bible. That's like every day.
That is every day.
That's
Wow,
every
that's
day.
really
Okay,
interesting. I
so
didn't know
every
that.
4 years I can be afraid once.
Leap year?
Oh, that's quick. You got that one, huh?
Oh, you don't think I'm quick?
Right, that was good. That was good.
I think
Very
you're
good.
Quick-ish.
Oh my gosh. You haven't seen it yet. Anything yet. I've been holding back.
70 episodes you've been holding back?
Yeah,
Huh? Okay.
today's the day, man.
Wait till we get to
It's
347
on.
episodes.
I've
then.
just
Oh,
been like,
it's
I had
letting
to get my
loose.
stamp in, Back to you.
You're so quick. You forgot
Liberty.
you forget your train of thought every time. Boy, you're quick.
It's that menopause brain.
You're Alzheimerly
It gives me the
quick.
chance to get water.
You're Alzheimerly quick. Dementia quick.
Oh, thanks, Bob. I rebuke those words.
All this peace and senility.
Well, we usually do 3 questions.
Okay.
And we have gotten rid of this thing that we had called the Rorschach test.
We got rid of it because she can't pronounce it.
I said it was okay, but I just didn't.
It was the best part of the show. Everybody loved it, and you got rid of it.
I grieved my spirit. I don't know why. It was
You're not
weird.
in
It was
touch
like these
with the
weird
public.
I'm not. And you're right. A lot of people did love it. And if it's a request to come back by popular demand, I'm not opposed to it.
Everybody, please comment and request it come back. Please.
Nobody has. But what I love is
If
that
you care about
Bob
my broken rib at all, you'll please send comments to request that the Rorschach test be brought back.
came up with, though, a really great alternative. And
Okay.
I actually
Well,
love this.
I didn't invent it. but
You didn't, but you did come up with it in this show, and I really love it. And it warms my heart when we do this part. So,
Yeah.
first of all, I'm just going to ask you
Okay.
3 words that describe Liberty Dawn.
I was going to say love or God first, but God is love. So love, freedom, unity.
That's like sums our entire show up. No, I'm not kidding. It actually does. Like if you go back and watch the first episode, that was Bob and my whole
Wow.
conversation
Seriously?
prior to the yes.
That's so.
we literally had that conversation on the phone that night. My daughter came up with the name. Then we
build a show around it.
built a show around it.
Oh wow!
And so
Praise
it was
God.
about love, freedom, and unity.
That's incredible. Praise God.
A second thing is that we do this thing called the word association.
You can't even pronounce that?
Yeah. The word association test.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a test.
Okay.
Not a game, it's a test.
Yes. So I'm going to say a word, and you're
Okay.
just going to give me the first word that comes to mind.
Okay.
So unity.
Liberty. Sorry.
I love that.
Feels like a
Are you
cliche.
kidding? It's actually not. It's not. You're made for a time as this. Freedom. Can you believe you wrote these down? You didn't even know what she was going to say.
Everyone.
You didn't. You didn't know what she was going to say about her.
No.
I know. That's amazing. Everyone.
Everyone.
Freedom. Everyone. Birthday.
1027.
Faith.
Hope.
Gift.
Life.
Wisdom.
God.
Child.
Precious.
Was that quick or what?
You said I wrote those down not knowing what the interview was going to be about.
No. Not knowing the 3 words
Oh,
that
the
she
3
was
words,
going
right.
to say
That's
about
true.
herself.
Right.
And her first ones were the first, like the last 2 that she had said, unity and freedom. Do you see what's happening here?
Pay attention to the show.
Woohoo! I got those chicken
Bob is
goosebumps. Well, actually, I have mosquito bites.
Chicken
but
goosebumps?
I call it chicken skin when you have the Holy Spirit bumps. And it's like,
okay.
That's
Yeah.
really offensive to chickens now. First of all, isn't chicken skin feathers?
Oh, may I tell a quick story?
Yes.
No, we got to go. I'm sorry.
oh, stop.
As you said, feathers. I know God wants me to tell this story.
Yes.
I get off the elevator yesterday, and there's feathers everywhere where I live. There's feathers everywhere. But as I follow the trail of feathers, there's blood. And I'm like, what the heck happened? I thought someone's dog got to a bird and like went to town on it, it's like a massacre. So what I was reminded of seeing that, I'm walking back to our apartment and I said, oh my gosh, I said, Lord, is this a bad omen? Is this like some ominous word you're trying to tell me? And he reminded me of the word during the pandemic. He says, it's time to fly in V formation. And he was showing me the body of Christ. So he had me studying geese. I learned a lot about geese. And how they fly is in this V formation. So the goose in the front, if anything should happen to it, they never lose momentum. They don't lose the course of direction. They keep flying because the one right beneath the wing, swoops in to that position so that they don't lose course.
Well,
And
the one guy's breaking the wind.
yes, he's
So
breaking the wind.
everybody else has an easier flight.
Absolutely.
Right? And
So
they switch every
they're
once in a
so
while.
synchronized. He says that's what time it is. And so as I walk in and I'm like, Rob, did you see that massacre outside? He's like, what massacre? I'm like, there's feathers and blood all outside the elevator. And then he says, you didn't get my text? And I'm like, and I walk into the bedroom. I don't even ask him yet what text. There's this huge hawk on the balcony he is going to town, plucking away this little bird that he caught or pigeon or something, and he's tearing it apart. But the crazy thing is, to bring this full circle, is within an hour of seeing all that, we were on our way home because we just got off the flight, and Rob said, we need to pray. Let's pray for the kids. So I'm praying for the kids. We're praying for the world. We're praying for everything. And I heard myself say, like God was speaking through me, the prayer. I said, God, watch over us like a hawk.
Oh my God.
Protect us like a hawk. No, I'm not kidding you. Watch over us like a hawk. Take care of our enemies. Bind them up.
Tear them apart.
And but then he sends me this visual, and I'm like, oh
This
my
is what hawks do.
That's crazy.
So when I saw that hawk picking apart, I'm like, okay, this is not an ominous message, at least for those who are going to be in alignment with the Lord.
Yeah.
It's for the enemies of the cross of Christ. Those who oppose righteousness, those who oppose freedom, those who oppose liberty, those who oppose the poor, all of these things where you're opposing what God is trying to lift and build up. Oh no, I won't have it. And so God is saying, I'm dealing with you. This is the time, the season of recompense for those who are perpetrating wicked stuff on other people. God says, no, I'm elevating now. I'm going to bring my church from behind like a Trojan horse. You're going to move up to the front now because it's time now.
Well, it says the first will be last and the last will be
It's
first.
time.
That poor pigeon's got to be saying, oh, great, I got to get eaten so Liberty gets a message from God. You can't write her a note? You have some
I'm
hawk
pretty sure
tear
it's
me
called the
apart in front
food
of her?
chain, and it's
Yeah.
unfortunate, but it does happen.
It is a food chain.
Yeah, it's the food chain, but he does use things
It
like
was
that.
but nature is speaking to us constantly, and so
Like
even
my
when you
praying
say-
mantis?
yes. So even when I love atheists. I'm not kidding you. It may sound crazy, but I love people. It doesn't matter where you are. I love you because God loves you, and you're
Yes.
human. Therefore, you're a reflection of who I am, and I'm you, and we're one, and
Thank
that's
you.
it. And it's like he's showing me. Oh gosh, it left. Lord, bring it back. He was showing me something. What was
Look
it?
up.
Look up. Well, yes, let's go there.
No, when you look up, I always remember.
It was about, oh gosh, what was it about? Oh, the unity. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. The most important thing, that it doesn't matter. God hates sin. He will never just do away with that and say, oh, you know what? I've changed. I don't care anything about that. His standard is high, but the difference is he will help you meet the standard, right? Love helps you meet the standard. So love in us helps pull up someone else up, and we meet each other where you are, meet people where they are. And so he doesn't banish anyone. He wants everyone to come into this amazing family. He wants everyone on that love train, even though he knows everyone won't choose him. Everyone won't choose to get on that love train, but he's inviting all of us to get on. And so it's that sentiment that it's all about unity. It is all about uniting and finding common ground. And that's what I was saying. I love the atheists because they actually challenge you to think outside of the box and to be able to justify your faith. Why do you believe what you believe? Is it based off of something someone told you, your parents, or is it based off of experiential relationship? And I thank God I'm in that place where it's about experience. So you cannot take that from me at all. And God says, I'm clearly seen, back to nature. I'm clearly seen through the invisible. Everything that I've made testifies of who I am. When you see life and you see nature, you see the ocean waves. What stops the ocean from breaking that border? It just stops and retreats. It doesn't have to, but it does. At his command, it does. And so that's what we are being invited into, this amazing family who is not, we're not victims, but we need to know that we're not. And we need to know how to not behave as if we are. And so that's what he's telling me and having me to teach other people, how to take this book, the manual, the Bible. This is not it, but this is my example right now. But how do you take it and make it practical? But because this is a war manual. It teaches you how to fight, but from your knees. If you're not fighting from prayer, and even if you don't have time to get on your knees, so I don't want to eliminate anyone because someone will say, oh, I can't get on my knees, or I've got bad knees. Pray standing, pray with your eyes open, but pray, talk to him because he's waiting to hear.
Yes.
That's it?
No.
Okay.
It's not it. He's just playing music to background you.
Okay, I
to
love
back
it.
you up,
I
sister.
love it.
Yes.
Pray without ceasing.
That's what we do. Whether it's at HealthNet, Vaughn's, Moms in Prayer.
Wherever.
It's
That's right. Wherever.
I'm telling you. I know.
Anytime, any place. And he gave me something on the plane with Pray. I saw
By the way,
Pray.
did you think that was the playing off music?
Yes,
I think she did.
I did. I saw Pray,
laugh.
and he gave it to me from, as the Hebrew, you go from right to left. And it was Yahweh. Oh, wait, I think I wrote it down. Yahweh.
Liberty always has these amazing notes.
Because it's incredible
I love that you write
what he
everything
says.
down.
Oh, wait. Oh, Yahweh always resists the proud. Yahweh always resists the proud. The proud won't pray. The proud are too prideful to pray. They think they've got it. God says, enough with the self-reliance. I'm your dad. I want to be your dad. Let
But
me
it
be
also
your dad.
says pride goes before the fall, a haughty spirit before
Pride goes
destruction.
before. That's right.
So it is the word.
That's right. And so when you're praying, it is a humbling position because you're saying, I have to look up and see
Rely.
something greater than myself that is able to bring these things that are challenging me, trying to make me feel like I'm a victim and that I can't get out. I'm bound. Bound by the mandates, bound by a mask, bound by whatever these wicked laws that are coming in. God is saying, my blood was poured out for your freedom. So do not for a moment begin to think that man is in charge of your freedom unless you give him or her that ability over you. You give him that power over you.
But he also says the victory will be his, so I'm not worried.
Absolutely.
It's nothing but a hair flip.
It is a hair.
I don't know if you've seen that video.
It is a hair
It's nothing but a
flip.
hair. This guy does this
I
whole hair
love
flip thing, and
that.
it's nothing but a hair flip.
It is a hair
I have
flip.
one last question for you, because I know
Yes.
we have an hour, and I could sit here all day with you, Liberty. I
Likewise,
love you. So much.
I love you so much, Cory.
I always learn from you. We always ask people who their celebrity crush is, but I'm just not going to ask you that because yours is God, then your husband, then your children. But who influences you the most right now in your life? Who do you look to?
Outside of Jesus?
Yeah. Yes.
My children. My children. I have 2 boys and a girl, and each one of them are totally different from one another, which is great because we're supposed to have God's, his identity and uniqueness. And each one of them teaches me how to dive out. Oh gosh, I'm about to cry. How to dive out a little bit more, even when they don't realize they're affecting me by their choices or even in their mistakes, because we all make them. And so I learn from them, and they don't realize it all the time, but I really watch them and I learn from my kids.
Isn't that amazing how it's like comes full circle?
Yeah, it comes full circle. It really does.
I know.
It really
I know.
does.
But that's this relationship
Yeah.
too. So
Yes.
I can't thank you enough for being here
Thank
today.
you for having
And
me.
Anyone listening, I encourage you to take a trip over to libertydawnunited.com
Thank
because you have
you.
a lot more to say
I know
than
too
that
much
we
to
squeeze
say.
into this hour, but you do, and
Too
you're
much
such
to
a
say
beautiful human
sometimes.
being. And I'm
Thank
so
you,
grateful that
likewise.
day that you decided to take a trip into Moms in Prayer and sit
Me
next to me, and
too. Me
we just
too.
connected immediately.
That's
and so
what we
thank
did.
you
We
for
did.
taking a chance on me today. Thank you for my birthday gift, which is actually your birthday gift, which goes to Liberty. She's so sweet. Sephora. Thank you. I love you.
Yes, thank you.
And-
Can I add one really quick thing?
Yes,
First,
yes.
thank you so much for having me both, Bob and Cory. Thank you so much. And my husband, it's our nucleus. My husband pours so much into my life as a woman of God, as a person, period. He leads by example.
Yeah,
And he
he
leads
does.
from the front, and he puts into practice sometimes what I talk about too long. I can say
He's a
that
doer.
because he is a real doer, and he's a risk taker. He says calculated risks, though. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
but I learned from him. So between he and my children, and outside of Christ, it's like, it's a full picture.
You're blessed.
It's
That's
a full
so beautiful.
picture. Yes,
I
it
know.
really is.
I've
I'm
had
very
the
grateful.
privilege of meeting him before at football game.
Yes,
Quick,
yes.
but it's like, hey. So thank you.
Thank you.
We
It's been
love
a
you,
pleasure.
and hopefully you'll come back on with your next project.
I would love that. Yes, God
Thank
willing.
you for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me, Cory
Love
and
you.
Bob.
And we're out.
The Coriolis Effect is produced by Jazz Productions. Producers Cory Oliver and Bob Victor. Host Cory Oliver. Editor Bob Victor. And assistant editor Kate Bonsall.
Hi guys, I'm Cory Oliver, and thank you for watching The Coriolis Effect. We hope you enjoyed the previous episode. Here are some more episodes you might enjoy. Hit the subscribe button below, and have a great day.